So today what we would be learning in Python is how if-else loop work in Python. How do we get values from a user? How do we perform various operations on those values? And how an if-else loop work in Python. So let's say first of all how to get a value from the user. So we use a keyword called input. Let's say I'm taking a value from the user. That's how we take a value. We define a variable. We define a value to the variable by the assignment symbol. We give a keyword as input and start asking for values. Let's say enter a number. Enter a number. So when I do this and give a number, say 3, and when I say print 3, sorry, when I say print n, it will give me 3 as a result. So this is somebody has joined. Okay, कौन आया भाई? Yeah. So, so that's how we get a value as an input from the user. We can also ask for any other values also. Let's say name. So input, please provide your name or anything, whatever you want to say. Then we can get the name printed. So it will ask for your name and it will print your name. Let's say I want to, so this is my number n. My number n is 3. I want to perform some operations on the number. I want to check whether the number is positive or not. So what I'll do is if n is greater than 0, print positive, else print negative. Really? If n is greater than 0, print this, else print negative. Greater than is not supported between instances of string and integer, but it's a number only. Type of n. Okay, sorry. So how do we do this thing now? See, what it is saying is greater than does not support between an instances of string. So I have n is a string for me over here and 0 is a number. That's why it say a string cannot you cannot compare a string to a number. That's what it is saying. So how do we do that thing? Let's input another number. Let's say n is equal to input int input enter a number, print n, and let's check the type of n. When I do this, I enter n and the type is integer. So I have converted anything by default, whatever you are entering without any defining the data type of that number, that is picked up as a string. So now this is how we check the type of the number, type of data type of any variable. That's how we check the data type. And to enter a number, we define it as an integer. So now we already have an integer. Now let's run this thing. That's how an if-else loop work. Now, my number n is 3, it is greater than 0, so it would give me result that the number is positive. Else if the number would have been negative, let's say I run this and I provide it as -3. And when I run this, it would give me the result as negative. So how to define an if-else loop? Always remember when you are putting a if statement or an if condition, so you have various operators to define it. So one is a greater than operator. So this is for comparison. Greater than 0. You can have n less than 0. You can have n greater than equal to 0. You can have n less than equal to 0. Or you can have n equal to 0. Now always remember that thing. If I pass it like this, n equal to 0, Just listen to me very carefully. When I pass a number as n equal to 0, it means like n has been assigned the value as 0. So my number n won't be 3 or minus 3 anymore. I am assigning it the value as 0. So n would be equal to 0. But when I'm saying equal to, that means it's a comparison operator. It's not an assignment operator. When I say n equal to 0, here it is the assignment operator. I am assigning a value to it. So I am assigning a value to n. But when I say n equal to 0, this is a sorry. So this is comparison. So always remember, if you would be entering a value in an if condition by typing this, let's say I take it this thing again. So let's say I say n equal to 0, number is positive, number is equal to 0, number is equal to 0, else not equal to 0. It will give me an error because it's an assignment operator, it's not a comparison operator. But if I do over here like this, if I say n equal to 0, it will check whether it is equal to 0 or not. We have n as minus 3, so it is not equal to 0. That's why it would give me not equal to 0. The point to explain this thing is to understand the difference between the assignment operator and the comparison operator. So that's what the assignment and the comparison operators work. Now, while writing the syntax for the if statement, what you do is, if you pass a condition, whatever condition you want to check, and always end this line with a semicolon. When you'll enter it, when you press enter after it, there would be a gap over here. Always. If there is not a gap, if I would write over here print, let's say I put again a condition over here, let's say n greater than 0, print positive, it would throw an error, indentation error. This is called indentation error. There is no indent over it. It should be indented. There should be a gap. So when I check this, it would say it didn't run because my value is not like that. So there should be an else over here. Otherwise, if else doesn't work, print negative. When I'll run this, it will give me an error. Always remember, in every if else statement, the syntax works like this: put a condition, start with if, put a condition, end with an exclamation, a colon, press enter, give your statement or give whatever operations that you want to perform, press an enter, go back, press else, again again a colon, then again a statement whatever you want to perform. This is the syntax for if else loop. Right, so this is how if else loop work. Let's say I have a rank. We'll perform another operation of an if else loop to explain you in a much more better way. Let's say I have a rank int input, enter a value or a rank. Right. Let's say if rank equal to 1, then print it is first, else, or I can put another condition, elif rank. So it is else if else if, then else. So this is another: if 1, then this, else if it is 2, then this, else if it is this, then this, then else. no if, nothing. So when I say rank equal to 2, print it is second, else print it is third. So now it's asking me for the rank value. Let's say I put it as 2. So it is second. I'll run it again. Let's say I put as 4. It will give me third because everything goes into else part. Anything besides 2, everything would be picked up as a third rank. Understand? Let's say I put it as 3, it would give me third. Let's say if I put it as 4, let's say 6, it will give me third. So I'm telling you the syntax how if else loop work. If then you have if you have another if condition, you put it as elif. This means else if. In short, we write it as elif. So that's how the if else loop properly work. This is how the if else loop work. Just hold on, I'm getting a message. Okay, has everyone joined? I've been asked. Okay, all have joined except Abhishek. Okay, so this is how the else if else loops work in Python. Now we have another set of loops also, which is like a while loop and a for loop. What is a while loop? While loop is something it will keep on running till the condition is satisfied. Let's say I have let's say m is equal to 1. I have any variable, I have assigned it a value as m is equal to 1. When I say while m is less than 5, less than equal to 5, again we end it with a condition and a colon over here. Then we say print the value of m, print m, and we say m is equal to m plus 1. Till the time the value of m is less than equal to 5, it will keep on adding 1 to m. So what I'm doing is I picked up a variable, I said I assigned a value to it 1. I'm checking, this while loop is checking whether my value of m is less than equal to 5 or not. And I'm adding 1 to it every time. So m is equal to 1. Over here m will be 2. It will again go to the while loop. It will check 2 is less than 5. Yes. It will print m. It will check then 2 plus 1 3. It will check 3 is less than 5. It will add 3 plus 1 4. It will check 4 is less than 5. It will go to 4 plus 1 5. It will say 5 is equal to 5. It will take 5 plus 1 6 and check 6 is less than equal to 5. No. It will end. It will throw an error. Let's run it. So it will just give me values till 5 till the time the value is less than equal to 5. The loop will run only till that time, till my condition is satisfied. Till then only the loop will run. So my loop works on that way, while till the time the while condition is satisfied, till the time my condition is satisfying this value, the loop will keep on running. It won't end, it won't stop. But on the other hand, when I say for, so let's say for x in, let's say I have a list apple, banana, orange. For x in this value, print x. I'll print x. So any value that is within this range will be printed. There is no condition. There is no check on any range or any value like in while loop. Whatever is present in my condition, only those things will be printed. If I say, let's say x is equal to papaya, and when I run this thing, or I assign x is equal to mango over here. Let's delete that thing. It will just print me the values that are present in this value only. It won't pick up anything what is beyond that scope. So that is what a for loop is. That is what how a while loop and how a for loop works. We'll get back to it more and more once we enter into this coding and everything. We'll keep on understanding how a for loop and how a while loop work. We'll keep on checking that thing. Now, so like I mentioned, the comparison operators and the arithmetic operators. Comparison operators are also called as conditional operators or relational operators. If somebody asks you what's the difference between an assignment operator and a conditional operator, what's the difference between assignment operator and a relational operator, this is how you define. So anything which is equal to, greater than, less than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, everything is the part of comparison operator. Fine, everything is part of a comparison operator. Now, as we are discussing loops right now, so one of the major important thing that you hold for a while, guys. I don't know why people disturb me. Hello, hello. Okay, so what we have next in our workflow is like, let's say my while loop fails at certain point of time. Now this while loop is failing. How it would fail? Let's say I have m is equal to 7. When I'll run this, it won't give me any result. Understand? Because 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. So it will check, first of all, when m is 7, it will check over here only. 7 is less than equal to 5? No. It will exit the loop. It won't even enter this part. It won't even enter this part. Understand? See, when I'm running this, I'm not getting any result at all because 7 is not less than 5. You understand? But let's say I have something like, let's say I have a counter. I say count is equal to 1. I run a loop while count is okay. Let's say I have a code over here. Let's say pin is not equal to. Not equal to we define like this. This is also another an assignment operator where it is the comparison operator. So I don't know what happened over here, why it is like this. Anyhow, so not equal to is also a part of this thing. All these are relational or comparison operators. So when I'm saying equal to, there should be something also like not equal to as well. So we define with exclamation mark with an equal to symbol to define that it is not equal to. Let's say I have a variable count is equal to 1 and I'm running a loop, a while loop saying and with another variable, let's say pin not equal to 1 2 3 4, with a condition that if count is greater than equal to 3, fine, I would say I'm explaining you this thing, what is this thing, how, why I'm doing this thing, sys exit too many invalid inputs. Fine. Now pin is equal to input, enter a value. to try again. Let's say I'm trying it again. I'll explain you what I'm doing. Let me just write the code first. So count is equal to count plus 1, and then I say print pin validated. So this gives an error because pin is not defined and I'm using count. So I have to define the pin first. For that, what I have to do is I have to take a value from the user. Pin is equal to input, not pun. I'm not enter a pin value. Let's say I enter 10. So what it is doing? It is going through a loop. It has to print once. It is going through an infinite loop, which is not correct. Okay. Also, you need to understand one thing, that if your code is getting into an infinite loop like it happened right now, it would keep on printing that thing. What you can do is you can just go to the top of your this notebook. Hold on. You just go to the top of the notebook and press the stop button. This will stop the kernel. Fine. Then you have to press this to restart the kernel, to restart your this thing, entire Jupyter notebook. It will connect again and your code will start running. Now, where were we? Yeah, we were here. So let's say we took a value, we took an input, enter a pin value. Fine. I have taken a counter as count equal to 1 and I am checking while pin is not equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. I am checking the count. Agar count is, if pin is not equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and if count is greater than equal to 3, I am taking input, enter a value to try again. Let's say it's an invalid input. So please enter the value again. Then I'm adding 1 to the count, and checking whether my pin is valid or not. Let's say I enter 3. Okay. It is stopping. Let me restart the kernel again. Okay. My system is not running. Jupyter notebook is failing over and over again. Let's say enter 34. It's not giving me the result. I'll check it out. Give me a moment. So I'll explain you what code is doing. So let's say any of my condition fails, just like over here, just like I entered this thing and my condition failed, right? So over here, what I can do is, without giving me any result, without giving me any output, the code exited and I didn't understand whether my code ran successfully or not. So for that thing, I can use something like sys.exit. I can use something like sys.exit and say that invalid input. So when I'll run this, again my kernel has stopped. It is going into an infinite loop. I don't know why, but let me check it out. Stop, restart. Stop, restart. Yeah. So to run sys.exit, what we need to do is we need to import a package, a library. Python has lot of packages, lot of libraries that we can import to make our tasks, make our lives easier, to make the task and make the work easier. So sys is kind of a library that is used to handle all the exceptions, all the errors and everything. We use sys. Sys is a library that we use. It is required for exiting the code and displaying an error message. So if a code exits randomly, without giving you any warning, without giving you any reason, then you can use sys.exit so that it gives you a valid result. It gives you a reason. You can put a reason over there. I'm not sure why this Jupyter notebook is not picking up this thing for me. Let me just try it once again. So no, it is not working over here in this code. I don't know why. Okay, let me just try running this again. No, it's not working. So I'll explain you what sys does, what the sys library does. Sys is nothing, it is just to handle any kind of exception, any kind of errors when your code fails, when your loop doesn't work out properly. We use sys.exit. For that, to use sys.exit, you first have to import that library, sys library, from the from the Python library, from the Python package. You have to import library so that it starts working. Just like for we'll be studying pandas and numpy, there also we would be importing pandas and numpy so that we can start using their functionality. It's kind of a dictionary, it's kind of a repository from where we are picking the packages and running them for making our code easier and make it run properly. Let me try it once again. So what we did is we picked up a value. We picked up a value, say pin, and we entered a value. We set a count as 1. We are checking till the time the pin is not equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay. So 3. See, when this is over there, the code is still running. When you have a star mark over here, the code is still running. So it is running, but it is into an infinite loop, which is not acceptable as of now while we are training. So I'll cover this part later on. I'll cover the exception handling part. I have noted it down. I'll cover the exception handling part later on. I'll explain you what it is, how it is. Let's say we start working on lists. So we know how to traverse a list. We know how indexing, how slicing work in a list. Let's say I have a list equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Let's say L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say I want to print every value in L. So for a variable I in L, print I. So what it does is, how to read this, how this loop is working. What it does is, I have assigned a variable, I have picked up any variable I. For I in L, it means I would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For I equal to 0, I'll get 1. For I equal to 1, I'll get 2. For I equal to 3, 2, I'll get 3. For I equal to 3, I'll get 4. It's just the indexing, how we do. Because let's say L0. L0 is 1. L1 is 2. So over here, when I is 0, I'll get the first index. When I is 1, I'll get the second index. The first index. When I is 2, I'll get the second index. When I is 3, I'll get the third index. So this is how a for loop is used to traverse through a list. This is how we move through a list. Now let's say I have I'll take the same example. I'll say for I in length of L. This won't work. This would give me an error because int object is not iterable. This is an int object and I cannot iterate it through the length of the list. Fine. But when I say I in L, so when I'm saying length of L, it takes it as 4. So when I say I in length of L, that doesn't make any sense. This is a common error that we do, common mistake that we do on regular basis. Let's say somebody says traverse through a list, through the length of list. So people might use saying that thing through length of L, which is not the correct way, which is not the right way. That's why it will throw an error. I deliberately ran this code because this is a common mistake that I also used to make that thing, used to run that thing, but it's a error. For the correct syntax is for I in L, we are traversing through the entire length of the list, I being the integer. When you'll pick up any integer, it will start from 0. Every index starts from 0 in a list. It will start printing the results for you. Correct? Same way we traverse through a string as well. Let's say I have a string called Python is a great language. Fine. Now let's say for word in S, print word. It will print each, it will pick up again. So 0. 0 means P, 1 Y, 2 Python T, 3 H, 4 O. So that's why it starts picking up every letter and prints it. That's how we access, we can traverse through a list, we can traverse through a string, we can traverse through a tuple, we can traverse through a dictionary using the for loop. So for loop works in a list, string, tuple, and dictionary. Everywhere it works. Let's say how it. Let's say I want to check out. I don't want my result to be printed like this. Let's say I don't. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Anyone is
Yeah,
asking.
how are we traversing here? Like, if you can give me an example, it would be easier to understand how we
Okay.
are traversing here.
How we are
Yeah.
traversing. Okay. I'll
Uh,
explain it to you again. No worries. So let's say. So this is something I can. This is a keyword like end, through which I can look forward to what say put a delimiter, put a separated by something. So I want the same thing in the same line. I can do this way. I want it together. I can put it like this. So this is every word, but it should end uh, um, every index should end it without a
mm-hmm.
space. So that's how if I want to print, rather than printing in this way, it is difficult to read, difficult to understand what it is. It's coming in a vertical way. I want to get this thing in a single line. I use this thing end equal to this. Now, what the question was, how I am printing this thing, how my loop is running. So, Control V. This is my string. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This way. So when I say word in S, so it will take for 0 in S. This is my S. This is my string S. For 0 in S, it would pick up it as, it would take it up as S0. So what it is at S0, it is P. Then it will print P for me. Again the loop will run. For 1, now word is 1, next element. For 1 in S, so 1 is Y, it will print Y for me. For 2, next is 2, so 0, 1, 2, it will print T. That's how it traverses a list, traverses a string. Similar way it traverses a list as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Now, let's say we want to traverse a dictionary. So, this end part is also clear to you guys. Let's say I want to get it separated by a slash. So, this is how my result will come out to be. But let's say I want it to be printed in a single line. I don't give a space over here. Let's say I want a space between letters, so I print it like this. Let's say I want a colon between the letters, I can give it like this. If I don't want anything, I just want a simple sentence to go in a straight line, I just don't give anything, I just put single quotes over there or double quotes over there. So it is just how to represent, how to present your result, we can use end as a keyword and give it a delimiter over there. Now, dictionaries. So we've been through list, string, now it comes turn of a dictionary. So let's say I have a dictionary. I already have a dictionary, I guess. No. Let's say I have a dictionary. No, I don't have a dictionary. Let me create a dictionary for you. D is equal to, let's say, same dictionary I'm creating, what we created earlier. Oven. Let's say um, EID. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say employee salary. So, okay. So this is my dictionary. Now, how do we traverse in a dictionary? Dictionary works on a key value pair. So we define it like for key comma value in D. For key comma value in D, if I say D, D means the entire dictionary. But dictionary, to access a dictionary, the values in a dictionary, we have something called D dot keys. We have something called D dot values. We have something called D dot items. So dictionary keys give me the keys. Okay, this is not giving. So dictionary keys give me the keys. D dot values give me the values in the dictionary. D dot items give me just the items in the dictionary. So if I say, let's say for key in D, print D, print key, it will print all the keys for me. Fine. By default, if I read a key also, if I read a dictionary, let's say, um, just hold on. When I'm printing the dictionary, so it gives me the entire dictionary. But generally, if you are traversing through a dictionary, it would provide you keys, just the keys. To get the values, you can use d dot values. To get items, key value pairs in the dictionary, you put d dot items. For getting keys, you use keys. Let's say I want to traverse through the let's say for let's say I, or let's say any variable, let's say value in d dot values, print value. So what it gives me, just the values. I guess I'm confusing you guys over here. I'll start it over again. So for key in D, print key, I'll get the keys. I'm asking for a key. See, this is just a variable name. You can define it X, Y, Z, A, B, C, monkey, donkey, lion, elephant, anything. You can name it anything in the world. I'm just explaining you for the ease that I'm accessing the keys. So I'm just taking the keyword as key only. You can give it any name. It's not required, it's not necessary that you should give key, you should give value to access certain things. Now, when I'm traversing through a dictionary, any variable what I'll put over here, it will give me a key only, it won't give me value. But let's say I do this thing for key in d dot keys, print key, sorry, colon, indentation error. So I can get keys this way as well. So this is by default, even if you don't define d dot keys, it will traverse through keys only. That's what my point was, to make you understand through these two examples, that if you put key in D or key in D dot keys, you'll get the keys only. Let's say I want to access the values. I have to search it through D dot values. Right now, why it is happening? So D dot values give me just the values. Understand, it creates a list for me. See, it's in the square brackets, it's a list. Internally, it works as a list. It gets you result as a list. So when I'm running val in d dot values, again it will pick as 0. So 0 is oven, it gives me oven. It picks 1, index 1 is 1 2 3 4, index 2 is 1 lakh. So that's how it gives me these values. Now let's say I want to access all the keys and the values together. How I can do? Keys and values we get through d dot items, right? So now if I search for two things, key comma value in d dot items, I'll ask them to print key comma value pair. So this gives me every key with its corresponding value in it. You understand my point? It is giving me key value pairs. So to access keys, simple, pick any variable, search it in the dictionary, you'll get the keys. For values, you have to search in d dot values. For key value pairs, you have to search in d dot items. So even if you are confused in giving the variable name, you can use any variable. Let's say x comma y, and you print x comma y. You will get the same result. So those are just the variables. You can define any variable, any name. You can pick up anything on this earth. You can pick it up like 1 comma 2 as no 1 comma 2 won't work. Those are numbers. It will execute it as numbers and won't understand. So that's how the dictionary is traversed in through this thing, through for loops, through for loops. Now let's say um, uh, let's say I have a list. Another thing, now we are understanding what a range is. Range is something. What do we understand by range? I define a range 1 to 5. Nothing can go beyond 5. If I say the range for a car speedometer is 1 to 120 kilometers per hour, right? Or 240 kilometers per hour if it's a sports car. So, range is defining a value. Let's say I want to create a list of random numbers from 1 to 5. Rather than putting 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, what I can do is I can use a range. So let's say L1, is equal to range 1 comma 5. Now range 1 comma 5 is just, if I just type range 1, sorry, don't assign it. If I say range 1 comma 5, just type it as it is. It's a text. Now I want to convert it into a list. I want to typecast it. I'll define it as a list. Fine. I want to save this into a variable. I'll save it into a variable. And I print that variable. Over here, what will I get? A list with range 1 to 5. Again, the same thing, just like we did in slicing. The last element less than 1 I will get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 1, 4. I'll get from 1 to 4. If I want to have it from 1 to 5, I'll take it as 6. I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how range works. That's how we define a range. See, I can put it as a set also. Let's say S1 is equal to set range 1 comma 6. Print S1. I get a set. Same thing goes with a tuple as well. T is equal to tuple range 1 comma 6. I'll get a tuple. So the point to understand is range is what you get is the starting point and the end point minus 1, just like we do in slicing. We get the starting point, the end point minus 1 as the result. That is what a range is. Generate a range of random numbers. For that, there is a function. When we'll get into pandas and numpy, see, all these things will be repeated later on as well, in later sessions when we'll discuss numpy, when we'll discuss pandas, data frames and everything. All these things will be repeated. So this is something, it's a continuous process of learning. You'll be learning throughout the course. That you'll be saying that, Avan, you have already told these things, why are you repeating these things? But this will come over and over again as examples, or for your understanding of a learning, these things would be repeated over and over again. Let's say now I have this thing, I have list L1. My list L1 is this. Now for I in L1, print I. This is what we did normally, right? Now let's say for I in range 1 comma 6, print I. It will give me the results again 1 to 5. So this is, I'm running on a list. This is, I'm running on just a set of random numbers. Range 1 to 6 is neither a list, nor a set, nor a tuple. It's just a set of numbers. I'm using just set of numbers for my operation. Let's say I say I is equal to I plus 1, print I value after addition, comma print I. So this is how, again, like some of you asked me that, sir, how are we traversing? I explained you in a string. Python is a great language. Now let's say my I is 1. It will pick, because the range is from 1 to 6. Understand, the range is from 1 to 6. So first value that I will pick it up from this thing, would be 1. It picks up 1, it prints 1 for me, it adds 1 plus 1, gets the value 2, prints this thing as the value after addition is 2. Now the value of I has become 2. So it will check for 2 in range 1 to 6. 2 is lies between 1 to 6. It will print 2 for me, which is printed 2 over here in this line. Then it will come here in the next line, it will say 2 plus 1. It will print the addition value 3. Now the value of I has become 3. Again it will run the loop, because 3 is in the range. It falls between 1 to 6. It will check 3, it will print 3. It will add 1 to 3, it will print 4. Now the updated value of I is 4. Again the loop will run. It will check whether 4 is in range 1 to 6 or not. Yes, it is in the range. It will print 4 for me. It will add 1 to it and print 5 for me. Now the updated value is 5. So 5 is in range 1 to 6. Okay, it will print 5 for me. It will add 1 to it and print 6 for me. Fine. It will print 6 for me. Now I is 6. Range works as 1, the starting point, and the end point minus 1. So 6 is not part of range 1 comma 6. It is exceeding it. If it would have been 7 over here, then I would have got 6 as a result, because the value of range 1 comma 6 would give me numbers 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, not 7. So 7 is not the part of my range. Understand? So this is how a for loop traverses through whatever we define, whatever the condition we provide to it. Again, I can do it in the same way. Like I said, print I, and I can go with end with, let's say, space. So this doesn't work over here, because I already have a value mentioned over here. So when I do this, again it is not working, because end is equal to, sorry. See, even I also forget sometimes, so that is okay. It is not your fault. So this is how I can print the values by giving end in a single row. Understand my point? But that is not useful over here. It is better you understand like this only. So I can print it line wise. I can get the values line wise. So that's how a for loop works on lists, strings, tuples. That's how you access a loop. That's how you get values from a loop using a for loop and giving conditions to it. I guess we have a couple of minutes more. Let's say now range has another variation like this thing only. Let's say I created this thing. Fine. Let's say somebody asks you to create a list. Let's say create a list of all even numbers from 1 to 10. Understand? What I'll do is I need 1 to 10. Fine. I'll skip 1. I'm skipping 1. What will I get? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is a gap of 1. 1 means you are not skipping anything. Let's say I skip 2. So I'll get all the odd numbers. So what I'm trying to tell you is, uh, so this is
We need to start with zero.
right. Good one. So मेरा point क्या था? My point to tell you was range. It is start, comma, end minus 1, comma, skip value. This is how a range functions. See, it started from 0. So I'm skipping two values. So 1 is skipped, I get 2. 3 is skipped, I get 4. 5 is skipped, I get 6. 7 is skipped, I get 8. 9 is skipped. 9 is the last value. 0 to 10 will give me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Range 0, comma 10. The result of this thing would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because it is always end minus 1. Right. Now when I'm saying skip of 2. So 1, 2 it will skip, it will give me this. 1, 2 it will skip, it will give me 4. 1, 2 it will skip, it will give me 6. 1, 2 it will skip, it will give me 8. 1, 2 there is nothing, it will stop at 8. So range 0, 10, 2 will give me 0, then 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. All the even numbers. Let's say I want to print only the odd numbers. While my first odd number is 1, I'll get all the odd numbers. I'll easily get all the odd numbers by this. The same funda applies over here. So 1 to 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm skipping two values. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 5. 5, 6, then 7. Then 8, 9 skips, and I get 9. That's how. Let's say I skip it. I skip 3 values. I'll get 1, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3 got skipped. Fine, I'll get 4. 1, 2, 3 gets skipped. I'll get 7. That's how. The skip value works that way. So I can have a set of numbers printed in reverse order as well. Let's say print a list from range 1 to 10 in reverse order. Let's say 1 to 100 ले लेते हैं अपन. What is happening? Sorry, उल्टा जाना है. I have to go reverse. So 100 to 1 in reverse order. So this is how I'll get the list entirely in reverse order. So 1, it won't give me 0. Fine, because last element would be 2 for me over here. So printing something, let's take a smaller number. So this will print all the results in the reverse order. Let's say I skip 2 over here. It will skip 2 values. Let's say I skip 3 over here. It will skip 3 values for me. So that's how you can print it in reverse order as well. See, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is the same thing what I have written over here. Don't get confused. This entire thing what I'm typing over here, list, range and all those things, this is exactly the same thing which is written over here in line 55. I am just printing it directly. I'm not saving it in a variable. So you cannot access this value again. This is, it is not saved in a variable. It is not assigned to any variable. That's why you cannot access this. If I say print L2, there is nothing L2. There is no L2. If I say L1, I'll get this thing only. This is something just for the sake of printing. I have printed like this. Understand my point? So that's how range function works. That's how range occurs. So in short, when I say range, uh, let's say list range 5, this will give me, if I don't specify anything, it means 0. Understand? It means starting point is 0. Unless until I specify anything, it will give me the same results. See, this is giving me this result. If I put this thing, it will give me the same result. So by default, the starting point is 0 index only. The 0th element, 0 index, 0 number. Everything starts with 0 in Python. Every counting starts with 0 in Python. Always remember that thing. And the end point is end minus 1. You won't get 5 over here. The elements would be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The count would be 5. The length would be 5. But the last element would be last element minus 1. That's all that is there for today's session. So when I say range m comma n comma t, it means m is start, n minus 1 is end, and t is the skip. Fine. That's how we go with a range function, range value. So think over it, sleep over it, go through this what I have taught you, and come up with your questions.